Hello theory students, today we're going to review Neo-Riemannian theory, and this differs from regular tonal theory, where we measure the closeness of chords by fifth relationships. C major and G major, for example, are closely related. In Neo-Riemannian theory, we use the half step to measure the closeness of two chords, and how many semitone changes, in other words, does it take for us to get from one chord to the next. In Neo-Riemannian theory, C major and C minor are very closely related. To get the second, you simply lower the third by a half step. We call this a P transformation. P stands for parallel. But we can also take the root and lower that a half step, and we get an E minor chord in second inversion. We call this an L transformation. L stands for leading tone because B is the leading tone to C. But if we take the fifth and we move it by half step up, we get an augmented chord, and what we're looking for are major or minor sonorities. So by moving it up two half steps, we get A minor in first inversion, the relative of C major. So this is an R transformation. R stands for relative. These are the three most basic transformations in Neo-Riemannian theory, and we can layer them as well, but let's just focus on these three first. To help make this a little bit easier, we can adapt something called a tonitz, which is simply a table of notes. In this table of notes, going left to right across the top, we see ascending minor thirds. Going from top to bottom, we can see these are descending major thirds. The tonitz can be a helpful way to represent triads and triadic relationships. For example, our C major triad can be represented as a triangle with three lines: a red horizontal line, a green vertical line, and a blue line we'll call the hypotenuse. That word simply is a geometric term that means the widest side of a triangle. So you can see we have all three elements of the C major triad. Let's say we wanted to show a P transformation from C major to C minor. In this case, on the tonitz, we would simply keep one of the lines in common. For the P transformation, we keep the hypotenuse, or the blue line, and we can see that the P transformation gives us C minor on the tonitz. But what if we wanted to do a different transformation? Let's say an L, or leading tone, transformation. In this case, we would want to keep one of the other lines common. For a leading tone transformation, we maintain the horizontal or red line, common to both triangles. And you can see here that we've created an E minor triad with a leading tone relationship to the C chord. That's an L transformation. Finally, to get an R transformation, you simply maintain the vertical or green line. And you can see here we've created an A minor triad. A minor is the parallel minor to C major. Note that all of these triadic relationships have two notes in common. The nice thing about the tonitz is that we can go the opposite direction as well. If we have this same A minor triad and we wanted to do an R relationship, the rule here is that we keep the vertical or green line common. By moving these other lines, we create a new triangle showing the C major triad, a relationship that is parallel to A minor. Now you try one. Here we have a new triad, but notice that the letters aren't quite right. We have to change this C sharp to D flat in order to make it a logical triad. Let's say that we wanted to do an L transformation on this G flat major chord. Remember that an L transformation requires you to keep the red or horizontal line constant. Push pause and see if you come up with the right answer. By moving the two other sides and keeping the red line or horizontal line constant, we've created a new triad, a B-flat minor triad. We call it an L or leading tone transformation because the voice that moves is the leading tone to the major chord. If we can use one transformation to create one relationship, it makes sense that we could also use 2 or even 3 transformations to get to more distant relations. Let's take an E major triad. Let's position it here on the tonnets using our 3 lines, horizontal, vertical, and the hypotenuse. And let's apply an LP transformation to this major triad. First, let's start with the L. Remember, the L transformation maintains the horizontal or red line, and the other lines move accordingly. So the L transformation takes us from E major to G sharp minor. Remember that E flat should be enharmonically reinterpreted as a D sharp. Now let's apply the P transformation. Remember, P transformations maintain the blue hypotenuse, and the other 2 lines move accordingly. If we reinterpret the C as a B sharp, we can see that we've created a G sharp major triad. This is the result of an L combined with a P transformation. Note that there is only one note in common. Incidentally, the LP transformation gives you a chord that is a chromatic mediant in relationship to the original chord. E major to G sharp major are chromatic mediants. So as you work through these chords, remember the 3 basic transformations. When you have a P transformation, you maintain the hypotenuse. When you have an L or leading tone transformation, you maintain the horizontal line. And when you have an R or relative transformation, you maintain the vertical line.